I don't know you, you don't know me, but here is something fun to see. This here is RainDaCartoonCat and Patches, who are both designed and owned by RainDaCartoonCat, who's on Team Crystals. I had originally planned to only draw Patches because that was the character that I saw and was like, oh, I like that one. That one's cute. I want to draw him. And then I read Patches' description, and it said that Patches likes to hang around rain. And I wasn't sure if that meant RainDaCartoonCat or the weather, the rain, precipitation. So that's why I decided to do both. I also think that Patches has such cute and fun design, genuinely. Like, I love all the different pieces of fabric kind of things and how they're all sewn together and how there's two different color eyes. I think he's really cute, really, really nice, especially since he's emotional support. It's very wholesome, and that's what I like to draw. Also, you can't really see it in the time lapse, but I struggled so much with the layers and trying to make the umbrella transparent to an extent, because the line art, I wanted to make the line art a slightly different color to show that it is there's some of the umbrella color adding into the effect. I did have bigger plans for the background with this one, but I wasn't able to execute it the way I originally planned because drawing backgrounds apparently burns me out, but drawing characters doesn't. So I switched making my background from a scene to a more plain and simple, and still I had the rain because I wanted the rain to be there and present within the whole area, which is why I made it kind of props, scene elements, because Rain is holding, or RainDaCartoonCat is holding an umbrella, which is a prop. Also had a lot of fun adding the little water droplet effect puddle to the bottom of the ground of the background. I'm quite, happy with how that looks. Also, drawing characters with bow ties makes me happy, so this was very fun. And it's done. I was very happy with my lighting and shading, and I got good experience and practice with water. Both owned and designed by UncannyTeeth, who's on Team Crystals, Shi and Bread were an absolutely lovely duo to draw for this drawing right here. As you can probably tell from the speed paint, I had a bit of trouble deciding where to put Bread, and I kept putting him by Shi's legs, and then in so many different positions, and I couldn't figure out where to put her. So I decided on top of his head she goes. And I'm pretty happy of the whole composition of the drawing. I just accidentally lost the detail of Bread's tail being a bit more floofy. There is so much I like about Shi, from the boniness of his fingers, to the teethiness of his teeth, to the fluffiness of his ears, to the very fascinating tail he has. It's like a cool curve, like a circle in his tail. But there's no circle in his tail, there's like a circle out of his tail. Like, all of his shapes are so fun to draw and very appealing to me, character design wise. I really liked drawing Shi's hands, and I think they're very unique, like for this whole shape and structure wise, so I tried my best to get a grasp on how they worked. Just such a fun character. He has all the traits that I like, and a beautiful coat. I really like how the original artist drew his clothes, and I thought it was very pretty and with all the folds and things. So I tried my best to also make the clothes feel like clothes because I don't have that much experience drawing clothes. As you can tell that I haven't drawn any humans this art fight, unfortunately. I really need to because I need to practice drawing humans for my own things, but yeah, I really liked him. I was originally planning to put him in like a ramen cafe, since that was the kind of thing in his description, but then again, backgrounds were still a bit much for me, so I decided to do a simple abstract background and make fun swirlies to kind of fit with everything going on. I really like his coat and color scheme. Next up, we have SOLARIS, HE, who is both designed and owned by Winterite, who is on Team Crystals. I looked around a lot of places to try to find lore on him because he didn't have a description, but I couldn't find any, and then I later learned that it was because he's a newer character for the author, and so I did whatever I could, to try to do something. I didn't know what his personality was like, but I tried my best because I really wanted to draw him because he's really cool design. So I kind of just drew him floating in the digital void, poking at some code. I think Solaris's design is very cool. As you can tell, I chose to draw him. I really like that his skin is gray, toned with the yellow and the black in his whole color scheme, and how he's a virus. He's a digital guy, and I think that is so cool. I also like the really big kind of halo thing around him. It's very pretty. Ta-da! It's a mass attack! It took me a while to figure out how to equally proportion everyone into the composition of the piece, but I was eventually able to figure it out. I chose 3 individuals to attack within this one. The first one is the Creechur, who's designed and owned by cstar, who's on Team Crystals. And the second one is on Glitterberry, who is designed and owned by Cheshvo, who's on Team Crystals. And third, Rian, who is designed by Hexmix and owned by DustPool, who's also on Team Crystals. I did a mass attack with all these 3 because it appeared to me that, based off of all the descriptions and information, that the owners all appeared to be very pleased with the idea of having interactions or mass attack. For the background, the previous ones I hadn't been doing scene because they was burning me out. So I decided to just rely on my more solid colors because using the other colors was kind of making me feel not other colors, the other brushes, because sometimes using the other brushes helps me get a texture that I need. So I decided to just more rely on one texture, and I'm very happy with how it turned out, because I was also able to do the, it's the way I always do walls and things. It's the way I do rock walls. I've always done it that way, and I think it's kind of funny. But anyways, my idea for the background was because, like, how you know how Glitterberry wasn't like in the full pictures, but I still wanted to like include more of the environment that Glitterberry would kind of be in. So I was kind of taking inspiration from my memory of what the islands in Race to the Edge look like, which Race to the Edge is a How to Train a Dragon series. I really like it, and that's what my inspiration was, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I did end up adding random plants around the places because I thought it would bring more colors to the composition, bring the piece together. Next up here we have Dreamhopper, who is designed by Beesmo and owned by MayorBrightpaws, who is on Team Crystals. I chose to do this little guy because I wanted to do something in a slightly different style than I've usually been doing, and I liked how colorful and a little happy this guy was, so that's what I did. I really liked the shines on the line art on like the original drawing of this guy, so I tried to apply that in the drawing that I drew. I also made the shadows like a very dark purple instead of something else like I would normally do, like maybe black or translucent, but I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. And the background is supposed to be some sort of like being in space, but very stylized. I like the floaty wings on this little fella. Next up, on the left, we have Pesto. And on the right, we have Ryft, or Ryft. Whichever one is pronounced correctly, I don't know. Who are both designed and owned by DragonsAndWolves74, who is on Team Crystals. I had originally only been looking for a fish character because that's what I put in the search. I just put fish. And then I found Pesto. And it was a lovely fish, very beautiful. I liked the combination of like green and then the pink on his back. He's very pretty. And then, because I like to look into profiles when I go to attack to look for more characters, I saw Ryft. And I thought that was an absolutely lovely character. I really want to draw them. So I began drawing them both together in underwater, since they both relate to the ocean or river, whichever type of water they have. At first I did accidentally give Ryft 2 little toes in the front paws, but then I did change that later on. I had a lot of fun with the lighting and shading for this one, since it's underwater and I could make it kind of translucent with all the bubbles. The bubbles were so fun because I like how when you like go underwater and then you see like the bubbles come down and they like go on the hands in all the parts underwater. So I tried to put that because it's really fun for me to draw bubbles underwater. For the background, I drew them in the ocean, next to a kelp forest. Well, they're more kind of higher up on the riverbed. Oh, sorry, the ocean bed. And then, like, they're like on an underwater cliff. And then if they go down, that's where like all those plants are coming from. Here we have Pylon, who is designed and owned by Prismaticstarz, who's on Team Crystals. I was very excited to draw this little guy because I really like traffic cones. And this is a traffic cone Creechur little guy who's a character. He's beautiful. Absolutely splendid. And I got to draw eye strain art with this guy. I was so excited because I really want to, because it's just fun to just go crazy with colors and let everything be as bright as I want. And the thing I had like a lot of fun with was pairing up the line art with the shading and lighting. Having the yellow be the lighting of the line art and the blue of the line art to be shading. But then I also did the inversion of having like highlights of blue for the lights and then highlights of red for the shadows. And I had so much fun doing this. It was very fun experimental time to just let myself draw whatever craziness I want. Here we have Mimi, who is both designed and owned by enzothefrogyman, who's on Team Fossils. I was not expecting to, like, this one was not a part of my list or schedule of anything I was going to do. I just got attacked all of a sudden, and I was like, okay, I'm going to look at your characters, and saw that there's this guy. I really liked this guy, so I decided, I'm going to draw this guy. And I drew this guy so fast. It was insane, but I was so happy with how it turned out because it was the style I have wanted to try, and more blocking out colors and adding things for detail, and then adding a bit of airbrush to show a little bit of contrast and color, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. Up next we have Box of Rocks, who is both designed and owned by Spacies, who is on Team Crystals. This guy was in my bookmarks since probably about maybe the first day. I typed in shapeshifters in the search because I don't know if you could tell, but I like shapeshifters. So this guy was the one I found, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. It's a box of rocks that can just be any animal or little guy. That is so cool. So I bookmarked it, and and then the last day was the day that I finally got to draw this fella. Lastly, we have Faust, who is both owned and designed by Cheshvo, who is on Team Crystals. This character is very lovely. He's a jester with space pants. It's so cool. He loves bells. I really like this character. That's why I chose to draw him. And I think this might have been a revenge, but I'm not entirely sure. But I did do this character up to the last few hours of the event, so I wasn't able to go back and clean up everything I might have wanted to, but that does not change my satisfaction with my ability to draw within that time limit. I'm very happy with this little guy, this drawing of him. I did a very simple abstract background just because that's what I did, and I labeled it as props because he's holding bells. It was a bit difficult to figure out how to do them. Bells on strings, which is something that I did. I've never seen it, I just made it up.